Hello, my name is Scott Walker. I'm the mayor of Somerset, Pennsylvania. Welcome to our town.
Welcome to Somerset, Pennsylvania. Located in the Laurel Highlands near beautiful forests, hills, and rivers, Somerset is the economic heart of Somerset County and boasts a nationally recognized historic district. Somerset is home to a thriving community that enjoys the arts, lively festivals, and farmers markets while building a bright future together. Join us as local residents show and tell everything that makes their community a great hometown. Your friends and neighbors welcome you to Our Town Somerset. Support for Our Town Somerset comes from Somerset Trust Company, serving the Somerset community for over a century with convenient locations. Information at somersettrust.com. J&J Truck Bodies and Trailers, built for the long haul. Find out more information at jjbodies.com. And viewers like you. Thank you.
My name is Ben Vinzani Jr. My story is on Somerset Borough and the central business district and the major highways that go through our town. Somerset is basically the economic and the physical hub of the county. We have several major highways going right through the borough. In addition to that, we have the turnpike. All of this brings many visitors and travelers through our borough. Our central business district is a nice, quaint central business district. We have mom and pop shops. It's just a lovely place for people to visit and to shop. You have people that are entering the restaurant business, like the My Girls restaurant, Bella's, which is a brand new bakery. We have restaurants like Crazy Alice's Cafe, all of which you can park and spend hours in our uptown business district. You also have little quaint antique shops in our central business district, benches for people to relax on while they're shopping. We also have a very diversified economy in Somerset Borough, where we have a major industrial park that has big business in industry. So we're very diversified in Somerset and very fortunate to have a quaint central business district plus major industries and major highways going right through our town. Somerset is just a fantastic place to live and to raise your children. It's been recently associated with the crash of Flight 93, as well as the Q Creek Mine Rescue. So we've sort of become what's been dubbed as America's County. And a friend of mine, Henry Cook, has even went a little bit further to dub it the heart of America's County. We've become home to the families of Flight 93. We have a lot to offer, and it just is a very welcoming community.
My name's Joanne Painter, and I'm here to talk about Painter Pines Christmas Tree Farm. It's a family-run business. It's my husband and myself and our 3 children and our daughter-in-law, and we do everything on the farm. My husband and I are both from Pittsburgh. Our children were born in Pittsburgh, and then we moved to Florida when they were babies. When they were in grade school, we moved to Somerset then. We rented a farmhouse for a couple months. It came up for sale. We bought it. All this land, we have about 40 acres. Didn't know what to do with it. And my husband woke up one day and says, "We're gonna grow Christmas trees." I'm like, okay. We don't know anything about Christmas trees. We have concolors, Douglas firs, balsams, Frasers, blue spruce, I don't know. There's a lot, 6 or 7 different kinds. In the springtime, starting in April when the ground thaws, we plant trees. We plant about 1,800, 2,000, sometimes 3,000 a year. Then we start cutting grass. That's all summer. We start shearing our trees in August. The day after Thanksgiving, we open, and it's a month-long party for us. We have a little shop where the people come. We give away free hot chocolate, free homemade snickerdoodle cookies. I make about 2,000 snickerdoodles a year. We give homemade ornaments. We personalize it with the kids' names, their date when they come in. We all dress as elves on the weekends. My husband is Santa Claus. Don't tell anybody. Shh. The big elves, they help load the trees. Santa Claus will go out with them, have snowball battles with the kids, and then they come in the shop and we have all the hot chocolate and the cookies, and it's so nice every year to see people come back year after year. We've seen a lot of kids grow up. So many nice comments. People are saying, thank you for doing this for our community. You're helping our family make memories. It's fun. It really is fun. I picked the Charlie Brown trees that need love. I don't want to cut a good one because I save that for my customers. So my tree usually has a few branches on, a few limbs, and that's about it. But this past year, my kids made me pick a really nice one because they were tired of the little Charlie Brown trees that I put up. We've made a lot of friends doing the tree farm, and we all work in Somerset, so we've made a lot of friends. But it's just a very small community where if somebody's hurting, you know about it, and everybody pitches in to help everybody else. You know everybody. Everybody cares about one another. Truly, they do.
I'm Ken Halverson, and I'm here to talk about the Harmon husband and the Coffee Springs farm. Harmon husband was born down in Maryland. In his adult life, he settled down in North Carolina near the town of Alamance. Husband got elected to the parliament down there. This governor, his name was Tryon, he was extracting these exorbitant taxes from his constituents, and one day Harmon husband went before the governor and he said his people were willing to pay for the just cost of government, but they weren't willing to pay for the tomfoolery of scoundrels and thieves, to which the governor threw him into prison. Immediately there was a big unrest in the area, and so the governor released husband, but immediately thereafter followed the first battle of the American Revolution, the Battle of Alamance. Harmon fled there with a price on his head of 500 pounds, and he came up here into western Pennsylvania. He settled out there at Coffee Springs Farm. He then got elected to the Pennsylvania legislature. Back in the 1780s, a lot of his constituents made whiskey. It was easier to transport whiskey off this mountain than it was to transport the grain. Congress, of course, enacted a tax on whiskey, and husband quickly took up the cause against it. Washington sent the troops out here during the Whiskey Rebellion. Husband and a general from Berlin by the name of Filson were taken in chains as prisoners down to Philadelphia. Husband was released from prison, and he died en route back to Somerset. And that's what this mural in our office depicts. John Skull, who was one of the prominent people of Somerset County over the years, he owned Coffee Springs Farm in 1938. He employed Carlin to do the mural. It looks like something you would see in a post office in our library here in Somerset. Coffee Springs Farm has been the scene of a lot of things over the years. It's 242 years old, the oldest house in Somerset. My wife and I have owned the building since 1983. We restored it back then. It was in pretty bad shape, and we restored it and used it as our real estate office during those years, and so we're still there. I'm born and raised here and been here all except my 3 years in the military. I love the people that are here. They're very, very kind, generous people, and they've been very good to myself and my family, and there's no reason why I'd want to leave.
Hi, my name's Chris Zanoni, and I'm president of the Somerset Historical Society, and I'm here today to talk about the Somerset Historical Center. Back in 1959, a group of citizens from the county decided that we needed a historical society for the county, and they met for 10 years up at the Somerset County Courthouse. And then in 1969, they outgrew their space. At the same time, the State Museum Commission was looking to put a museum in southwestern Pennsylvania to depict rural life. The society is now over 600 members. We are in possession of roughly 140 acres here on site, as well as 390 acres at the registered historical national site of the old Shade Iron Furnace. We have several structures here on site. Some of them are actual authentic structures, much like the Adam Miller homestead from the 1830s. It was in Brothers Valley Township, moved here. And then we also have the Walter Mill covered bridge, which used to span Cox's Creek. It was built in the 1850s and moved here on site. We have other structures too to depict early settlements here in Somerset County, much like the 1770s farmstead log cabin, which would have been a cabin that would have been designed by early settlers at first while they built their permanent house, which would have been the Adam Miller structure type home. The Jacob Emmerich cider press that we have on site, that was a great find. That actually was built in the Glencoe area of Somerset County. And we had received a phone call from the family that said that they had a cider press that they wished to donate to our site. We thought, well, we have several apple cider presses, and we're talking hand crank cider presses, small productions. It was a commercial product. We're estimating the weight around 5 tons. We had to build the building first. We are a very interactive society. We're not a stale museum. History is more about a story of the people. Our main revenue generator is a juried event held every year the weekend after Labor Day called Mountain Craft Days. It's over 45 years old, and we bring 125 time period appropriate artisans. We generally get between 9,000 and 12,000 people in a 3-day weekend. We bring artisans from around the country that want to partake because of it being historically accurate. I'll be honest with you, it's a lot easier to find a grunge band than a 1780s dulcimer player, but we still find them. I'm born and raised in Somerset. I grew up on a street where I knew every one of my neighbors. It was a community. We have a rich history here in Somerset. We were noted by Congress as America's county. I don't believe it was an accident how the community responded to Flight 93, how the community responded to Q Creek Mine Rescue. I think that shows the roots of how people are raised in Somerset County. We come together.
There's more to come as we check out the Mary S. Biesecker Library, follow the buzz on a local beekeeper, and learn the importance of the 3 domes that grace Somerset's skyline. But first, show your support for Somerset and WPSU by making a pledge. Thanks!
Hi, thanks for tuning in. It's Our Town Night, Our Town Somerset here on WPSU. Behind me are phone volunteers who came up from Somerset tonight. We thank them, but we want to thank you when you call 800-245-9779. This is the 84th production in the Our Town series. It's been a great way for us to reach out and connect with the communities that your public TV station, WPSU, serves. Call now with your pledge. We're going to go back to the show in a few minutes. Now's your opportunity to show your support for public television and for Somerset. Joining the studio, a good friend of the station. Here she is. You haven't seen her in a while, but we got her back in. Woo. I know, Jessica.
Thanks so much for joining us this evening for Our Town Somerset. We are so happy to be able to bring this program to you tonight. What we're looking for now is for folks to call in to show their support, to say they love their town, that you love Somerset. So right now we're giving you the opportunity to pick up the phone and call 1-800-245-9779. And when you do, our lovely phone volunteers back here will take you through the process, and we would like to offer you some great thank you gifts. At the $75 level, we will send you a copy of tonight's program, Our Town Somerset, on DVD. And for $120, if you can step up to that level, we'd love to send you 2 copies of the DVD. And we're coming up to that time of year whenever gift giving might be happening, so this would be a great chance to share your town's heritage, maybe with a loved one who has moved away, or as a keepsake for your family later on down the road, or a lot of people like to buy them for schools to give them to. The important thing, though, is that you give us a call and you show your support at 1-800-245-9779, no matter the amount, just that you support great local programs that you're only going to find right here on WPSU. And now I'd like to pass it over to my friend Kevin Conaway.
Absolutely, Jessica. And there's our first call of the evening. Thank you for making that call. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. Population of Somerset is roughly 6,144. So I guess that was a little more than roughly. 6,144 back in 2013. We'd love to hear from you tonight. We'd love to hear from many of you. We want to basically say the names of every person in Somerset tonight and thank you personally for making your contribution to your public television station, WPSU. The number to call is 1-800-245-9779. We have these lovely folks from Somerset who made the long drive here tonight to answer the phones here in our studio, WPSU. So one of the great things I think about the Our Town Somerset series is that it shows off and showcases all the wonderful communities across central Pennsylvania. And tonight we're all about Somerset. We are celebrating the town of Somerset. And if you like watching programming like this and you like seeing the great stories, no other television station, no other television channel is going to dedicate an entire evening to great quality stories about your local community. And if you see this and you say, I value that, we would just like to hear from you tonight. A pledge in any amount will get your thank you tonight on the air. But if you can step up your giving to the $75 level, we'll be glad to send you a DVD of Our Town Somerset tonight. Or if you can step it up even a little bit more to a gift of $120, we'll send you 2 DVDs. It's a great way. I know I've talked on the phones with some of the grandparents who've called in. It's a great way to kind of give a gift to your grandchildren so that they remember a great community like Somerset. And that's what tonight's show is all about. The history, the culture, and where Somerset is headed in the future. It is America's county, after all. Right, Greg?
That's right. And don't forget to tell your friends and neighbors about America's County by sending them a tweet, sending them a text. Heck, you can even pick up a telephone and make a call. Think about that. But if they live out of the town, they can watch the show at WPSU.org/live. The show is live on our stream tonight, so anywhere in the world they can watch at WPSU.org/live, and they can call in, they can make their pledge too. But your pledge is the one that's important. When we started the Our Town Project in 1996, we were trying to find a way to connect with the communities that we serve throughout central Pennsylvania. We have a coverage area that goes as far as south of Somerset and a little bit farther south than that, all the way up to Bradford, and it's a very wide state, so we wanted to do something, and we're located right in the center. So the Our Town Project is something that connects with the communities, because we go to the community and we say, what do you think is important about your town to put on video and to talk about? So they select the content, and we just kind of put it together in a form that you can watch and enjoy and have as a copy for $75 as a way of saying thanks for your membership in your public TV station. $75 gives you 1 copy, $120 send you 2 copies. And you can put that in your Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. It's just our way of saying thanks. Now, the phones are starting to get busy. We got a lot of show coming up. You don't want to miss any of it, so call at 800-245-9779. This is what we do to purchase, produce, and broadcast the programs that you watch here on WPSU. That's what we're here tonight, to celebrate a great town and to celebrate public television. So call 800-245-9779.
Quick glance to our volunteers behind me, and I see that we only have 3 phones open right now, so this would be the perfect time to give us a call at 1-800-245-9779 to show your support for 2 phones for your town, Somerset. We're devoting this whole night to celebrating Somerset. And
don't panic.
Truth be told, I had never been to Somerset before, and I was lucky enough to go there in my living room watching this program the other evening. I was able to preview it a little bit before time. It's a beautiful community. You have so much to be proud of. I love the story in that first segment about the Christmas tree farm. I think that is such a great story, and that they came here and decided to purchase this farm, and now it's this great family business. It looks like they do so many fun things there. Stories like that we would never have heard of if not for this program, and these stories can't continue without your support. So give us a call at 1-800-245-9779 if you are trying to get through, because I believe the lines are all busy. You can always go online and make your gift at WPSU.org. But the important thing is that you step up to the plate, take that step, and make that gift of support. Kevin?
Yeah, all the phones are being used right now, so if you just give it a minute or two, it takes about a minute or two to cycle through the phones. So if you give us a call, 1-800-245-9779, someone will be here to take your call. Again, wait about just a minute or two if you get that busy signal. You can also make a membership pledge online at WPSU.org. It is a safe, secure site, and we look forward to doing that. We have our first thank you of the night, someone who chose to remain anonymous but is from Somerset and taking advantage of that DVD deal. So we're sending that out to them, to our town, Somerset. You know, as Jessica was kind of saying, Somerset to me as a child was always this great stop on the turnpike where we would stop in and we would get dinner. And I always looked forward to driving along and stopping at Somerset and getting dinner. Who knew as a child that there was this wonderful town and community featuring the three domes that we're going to hear about a little later, this wonderful patriotic community who really cares about one another. And that's what I love about the Our Town series. It allows us to see our central Pennsylvania friends and neighbors, all supporters of WPSU, all supporters of their public television station, and it just, you get to experience these wonderful communities, places that you'd like to go and visit. You know, as part of the Our Town series, I get to travel to all of these great communities like Bradford, and we were in that neck of the woods with my wife this week, and I got to stop at one of the restaurants we got to visit when I was there. That's what's great about this series. It allows you to experience central Pennsylvania through the words of your friends and neighbors. And if that's something you value, because you're not going to see it anywhere else, your call tonight gives us seed money for the next program. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. The wonderful folks from Somerset are here to take your calls tonight, and I believe we're getting quite a few of them. Greg?
Every time we hear a bell, that means we get a pledge of $100 or more, and an angel gets its wings. Everybody knows that. So thanks to Greg, Joanne, Brad, Joe, Ashley, and Zach Painter, and they say thank you for WPSU for doing Our Town Somerset. Thank you for your pledge. And also Ben and Margie Vinzani of Somerset who called in a pledge. So people are calling in. Thank you very much. If you have trouble getting through in the phone, just wait a second and call back. Or easier still, you can go online to WPSU.org. We get the pledges that way as well. You can write your comments. You can select a thank you gift, and just a great way to do it. But your pledge is important. Don't think that it's not. Nationwide, the single largest source of income for public television stations is from viewers like you. So your pledge right now at 800-245-9779 is the important one. Don't think somebody else is going to make a pledge. Call now. $75, we can send you a DVD of the show you're watching right now, Our Town Somerset, for $120, two DVDs. You can keep one, send one away, or give it as a gift. But do make your call now.
And we are also, after you make your gift and after we are able to thank you on air, a thing that you can do from home is you can send out a tweet using the hashtag OTSomerset so that all of the people out there on your social media networks can also see that you support public television. I just sent out a tweet right now. We hope we can hear from some more folks this evening. I do have someone that I'd like to thank, though. I'd like to thank Jim Amper, I believe is his last name, from Somerset. Thank you so much for your gift of support this evening. We want to hear from Jim's friends, from Jim's family, from your friends, and from your family, and most importantly from you at 1-800-245-9779 to celebrate your town of Somerset, PA. And remember, at $75, we would love to send you a copy of tonight's program. If you have been enjoying it so far, we have a lot more show to go. Or for $120, if you can step up and make that contribution, we'd love to send you 2 copies of the program this evening. But what we're looking for tonight are people that are saying, yes, this type of programming is what we need more of. We need to be able to learn our heritage and to be able to see what makes our town so great. You know what makes your town great. Public television is here tonight to show that to the rest of the world, really, with the online stream at WPSU.org/live. It's your turn to step up and to continue this for the next town, and that's what we're doing here tonight at 1-800-245-9779. We have some phones that are open back here, so if you tried to get through earlier during that little flurry of activity, now would be the perfect opportunity. We're waiting to hear from you right now. Kevin?
We have some thank yous to pass along, and first I want to Alfred Pogge of Somerset. I believe it's Pogge. Thank you, Somerset. wants to thank all those who donated their time and effort to the program. So Alfred Poggi calling in to say thank you, and we want to say thank you, and we definitely want to say thank you to all those who took time to take part of the program. And that's another of the great assets of this program, is essentially producer and directors from WPSU go into these communities, but they spend time with the townspeople, so that very much these are the townspeople's stories. These are the stories in their own words. They're capturing their own images, and they're telling their stories. We kind of work hand in hand. It's very much a collaborative effort where we are teaching folks to kind of be their own storytellers. And what better way to hear from people? It's a documentary style interview process, and it's one of the things that I really love because it reflects the great stories of our towns in central Pennsylvania. We have a great story coming up in a little bit from a coal miner's daughter who tells us about mining in Somerset and kind of the face that it's given there. And that's actually one of my favorite stories. My family's from Clearfield, and my grandfather was a coal miner. And I'm always glad to hear, like when we did Our Town Clearfield, I got to go in one of those mines and see that experience. These are stories that just simply won't be around anymore if we don't preserve them. And we can pass them on to our children and our grandchildren. And if you can make a membership pledge of $75, you can get a copy of Our Town Somerset Tonight to pass on to your children or your grandchildren. If you can step up that giving to $120, we'll send 2 DVDs to you, maybe one to keep for yourself and one to pass along to a family member. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. We do have 8 phones open right now, so this is a good time to call. Take advantage of that. Again, the number is 1-800-245-9779. Greg.
2 of my most favorite words in the English dictionary are Cubs win, but that didn't happen, and thank you. So thank you also to Richard and Janet Shockey of Somerset, who called in a pledge, and also Michelle Enos, the borough manager for Somerset, and she thanks all those helping this evening. So thank you very much, Michelle, for calling in your pledge at 800-245-9779. The Our Town Project has been a great way for us to make a lot of friends throughout central Pennsylvania. We serve a large portion. Like I said earlier, this is the 84th production in the series. So we've met a lot of friends and had a lot of great acquaintances making this show. And so as it goes on, we hope we can continue to make friends, and we make friends by people becoming members of their public TV station, because that gives us the power and the energy to do more shows. 800-245-9779 or online at WPSU.org. And I think Jess has some people to thank.
I certainly do. So we have an anonymous gift from Somerset. Thank you so much for that gift. You know who you are. Thanks so much for supporting public television. Thanks to Greg Chiapelli of Somerset. Thank you so much for that gift. Thank you also to Terry and Shirley Talion of Somerset. Thank you so much for your gift of support. And here it is, everybody, our first out-of-state gift.
All right.
We have Sharon and Tim Werner from sunny, lovely Florida. After last weekend it was snowing and sleeting here.
Florida.
They're in Florida, loving it, wearing their shorts and their flip-flops. I'm a little bit jealous right now. Won't you be the next one to call, even if you're not wearing shorts and flip-flops, if you're in sweatpants and bundled up at home? We'd love to hear from you this evening at 1-800-245-9779 to show your support for your town, Somerset. Greg said it exactly right. After I was a producer here, worked on this show for a few years, and I still keep in touch with a lot of the people that we worked with on the show. We're friends through Facebook. Facebook's a wonderful thing, and it's great that we can develop these relationships. We want to develop a relationship with you, our viewer, to become part of our WPSU family. Take that step at 1-800-245-9779 to make your gift of support. Kevin?
Absolutely. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. The folks from Somerset are here waiting to take your calls. As I said, it's population 6,100. We would love to hear and thank many of you tonight. A lot of times when we have people call in, they'll also kind of say, it's class of 75, or it's, this is in honor of my parents who were longtime Somerset residents. We love those stories. We love to share those stories. We think that makes the program all that much more exciting for those of you at home or watching. So I encourage you to do that. Give us a call. Give us a challenge. And let us know if you're having a viewing party or if you're just kind of gathered around the TV, as Jessica said, in your sweatpants tonight. I can't think of a better thing to do on a beautiful fall evening than have the screens open and just enjoying our town, Somerset. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. If you can make a pledge in the amount of $75, we'll be glad to send along a DVD of our town, Somerset, that you can enjoy at home for many years to come. Or if you can step up your giving to a gift of $120, we'll be glad to send along to our town, Somerset, Somerset DVDs. It's a great way to keep the program for yourself, but also to share with loved ones that will be around for many, many years to come. 1-800-245-9779, and we're going to head on over to Greg.
Oh, hey, I'm Greg. Give us a call. I love live television. 800-245-9779. Our phone volunteers are from Somerset. They came up tonight. It's about an hour and three-quarters, hour and a half drive, so we thank them for spending their time. And this just in, handed to me off screen. We have more people to thank. Jerry Halverson of North Fort Myers, Florida. Another Floridian. Thank you, Jerry. And also Jim and Brenda Yammer from Friedens, Pennsylvania, calling in their pledge at 800-245-9779. Now we have a goal tonight of 150 pledges. Now we'll have to see how we do. We're on a goal of 150 people calling. There's 6,100 people in Somerset, so 150. We're not asking for the world, but we're asking for 150 people to step up, become friends of public television, show their support for Somerset and WPSU. 800-245-9779. Don't go away. Thanks.
You can also make your contribution at WPSU.org. Click on Donate at the top of the page. It's always available and easy to use. Thanks.
My name is Leanne Schrock, and my story is about the Mary S. B. Secker Public Library. The Mary S. B. Secker Library started in 1914. It was originally an idea in 1909. There were two groups, the Fortnightly Club and the Tuesday Afternoon Literary Club, that went door to door in Somerset asking the people if they'd be interested in a public library. The library originally started in a private home in one room. Eventually, it outgrew that home and it moved to a building uptown. And then in 1943, the library that we are at today was built. The outside of the library is native stone. As you walk in the door, you come into the main reading room. Originally, the plans for this room were to split it in half for the adults and half for the children, with a circulation desk in the middle. Today, the main reading room is for adults. Then behind the main reading room is the genealogy room. We have people that come in to research their family trees. We have family histories. We have cemetery indexes, and we have the Daily American going back to 1828 on microfilm. We also have an internet kiosk upstairs. Downstairs is the children's library, which was put in the 1970s. We have our activities down there. We have toddler time, we have preschool, we have summer reading, and we have family movies. The murals were donated shortly after the library had been built. They were given to the library in 1949. As you walk in the main door, you'll see the Frederick Gabe mural. And this shows Frederick Gabe lifting the first proof of his German Bible off his press in his printer shop in Somerset. And the two side panels of the mural show the importance of this Bible to the pioneers west of the Alleghenies. We had a 100th year birthday party last year. We had a children's party downstairs. We had a clown, and we had games and prizes and story corner for the children. Upstairs, we had music and refreshments for the adults, and it was wonderful to see all the people that came out to support the library. I love the library. I've been there for 9 years. I have a wonderful staff. We have a wonderful collection for every age. And the people that come in there are so responsive, and they love books. I love Somerset. I've lived here all my life. The people are very friendly, and they're outgoing. And if you're new to Somerset, stay here because you'll have a wonderful time.
My name is Crystal Bailey. I'm here to talk about the Isaac Husband House. I've lived there since I was born, and I've always been curious about the history of it and who built it, who owned it, and how did it even come to be. I found out that Isaac Husband, the son of Harmon Husband, who was famous for the Whiskey Rebellion. He had built a house in 1820. It was built 1 mile south of Somerset. His wife actually helped him build the house, and it actually served as a church at one point in time. It actually started out as a dwelling, and it stayed as a dwelling till probably in the late 60s, and it was then converted into 5 apartments. On the outside, there's a cornerstone with his initials and the year that it was built. And actually, on the front porch, this is kind of cute. There's a coal chute, and they used to heat the house with coal. It's no longer in use, but it's still there, and it's pretty cool. The stones on the house actually were so huge that they put them with a special mixture of horsehair and sand, and they're 24 inches thick, these walls. With the horsehair and the sand, it allows contraction in the winter cold and expansion in the summer heat. I even shot upstairs in one apartment, and the original flooring is still in the apartment. The only thing I could say on it being haunted is I heard a little boy say, "Hi, Mommy." And I was told by a friend of mine, she came in and she was back playing in my room, and she said, "There's a little boy in your room." And I just let that go. I love this town because you got so much going on. There's not one week goes by that there's not something that's happening. And it's full of history yet waiting to be explored by me or somebody who's younger than me. I think this is a fantastic town.
My name is Peggy Metkoski Wilkins, and I'm here to talk about the changing of the landscape due to the mining in Somerset area. Mining has been a good industry for the families around here. It's the most important industry because it also helps get electricity into the area. And the rough, tough guys and gals that work in the mines go there every day just to help us heat our houses, turn our lights on. And without the coal mining industry around here, there wouldn't be a lot of other businesses like retail businesses, restaurants. It's a big industry. My father was a coal miner for 42 years. Growing up as a coal miner's daughter, it made all of us know that we would have to work to help out the house while Mom and Dad both worked. We all pitched in. We had to. He would have to go in and check the pumps so the water would be flowing out of the mines. And he'd take other men with him and teach them how to work with the pumps. He would help the guys come in and out of the mines. He would pre-check the mines before they went in. There's been cave-ins, but he's made it out. And then he also went into safety and fire boss, and he would take all kind of courses, night classes, just so he could pass it on to the younger guys. And I think he's most proud of getting a college degree from Penn State in the mining industry. And he keeps them tucked away. The deep mines, they're much different than the strip mining. They go and they take off the surface down as deep as 500 feet, sometimes to get coal and maybe deeper. And once they get that all taken out, the seam of the coal, then they have to reclimate it back to a normal flat surface. I went over to the Q Creek mining where the 9 miners were saved. I took a picture of the miner sitting there with a book, and right next to him is a coal mining lunch bucket and a pick. And when I look at that, it looks like my dad. I think it was a spiritual thing that got the 9 miners out. I believe it, when 9 go in, 9 come out. That's the way they work.
My name is Jessica Onstead, and I am a Somerset County beekeeper. My fascination with beekeeping began at a very young age from hearing stories from my grandparents because both of their parents were beekeepers. So I would hear about on the homestead how they would have a hive of bees and how they would always have a chunk of comb honey in the pantry. Then whenever I graduated from college, I was like, I want to continue learning in some facet. And I'm like, I'm going to learn about beekeeping. I literally read Beekeeping for Dummies because I just wanted to learn the basics. While I was doing that, I actually found out about a program that the Pennsylvania State Beekeepers sponsor called the Pennsylvania Honey Queen Program. I traveled to Lewisburg, where the Pennsylvania State Beekeeping Association has a big convention every year, and I did a presentation on the economic importance of the honeybee because I actually have a degree in economics, and I actually won the title of Pennsylvania Honey Queen. And then through that, I met all kinds of beekeepers, and I learned a lot, and I made a lot of contacts. So I met a guy that was able to sell me some bees and sell me equipment. So in the spring, I started, and so far so good. One honeybee only produces 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in its lifetime. So obviously you need a lot of bees to make honey. But fortunately, the queen bee, who is in charge of laying eggs, that's just her job, in the summertime she can lay over 2,000 eggs a day. So you can see how she's constantly trying to build up that colony. So a beehive can have anywhere between like 50 to 60,000 plus bees in it. Honeybees are generally very friendly and very docile. My bees, they have a little bit of a kick to them, so it took a little while for them to get used to me. Luckily, my family has a lot of land, so they have some real rural landscape to forage. But interestingly enough, you can really put bees just about anywhere because they'll travel for miles and miles. Definitely next year, my plans are to get more hives. I just have one now, but I want to expand a little bit, and then I guess we'll see where it goes from there. Agriculture is our #1 business in Pennsylvania, and Somerset County is a very agricultural area, and honeybees actually pollinate 1/3 of the foods that we eat, so they really are an important component to that whole agricultural cocktail. Whenever I learned that my great-grandparents did it, it was another important thing to me because that's something that my family has done. It was one of the reasons why I wanted to keep bees, because not only are they beneficial, for me because, I like honey and that's great, but they also benefit, my neighbors, they benefit the environment. It's like a cool pet to have, if you want to call it a pet, because, they do good for me and they also do good for you. They do good for the county.
My name is Henry Cook, and I want to tell you about the 3 domes here in Somerset. I was walking one evening about 15 years ago looking out over the town, and I realized that there are 3 dome buildings. The 3 dome buildings are a church, our courthouse, which is probably the building most recognized in Somerset, and a bank. And all 3 buildings were under construction at the same time in the beginning of the 1900s. Yeah, I sat there and I thought, a bank, a church, a courthouse. God, money, and country. What more speaks to us? And all 3 were built halfway through our history. I challenged the local photographer, Dave Breen, to capture it in a picture. What the image looks like is the town growing out of the forest, which is what we are, a town growing in the middle of the woods. Domes became popular in the United States, as I understand it, when the Capitol building was complete, which was during the Civil War. And the various architectural colleges and universities began teaching how to build domes. The people designing great buildings 30 years later were very much into thinking about domes. The courthouse is the one that is the most dominant. You see the courthouse from the turnpike. People on occasion think they're getting close to Harrisburg because the dome is very similar to State Capitol Dome. There was a lot of opposition to building the courthouse. We had a colonial style, sort of looks like a New England church that was our courthouse. And there were buttons that everybody walked around town saying, "I like the old one." My great-great-grandfather, there's a picture of him wearing this, "I like the old one," which is kind of ironic because at the same time, he started our business, which is a bank, and he built a dome building. The bank dome building, there's a copper dome outside, and inside is a stained glass dome, which is very handsome. We use it as a meeting room. We permit anyone who has a civic meeting to come and use it. The family members of Flight 93 met there 6 months after 9/11, and it was there that they organized themselves. I believe the ambiance of that domed room helped them get focused on the task of creating the National Memorial. Somerset is a unique little community. We do whitewater, we do skiing, we do hunting and fishing. We have some of the most handsome falls in the world. For me personally, I'm just attached to the place. There's a joke in my family that even traveling with my family, I'm homesick when I can't see the courthouse. We have a unique population, I believe. I never understood that until Flight 93. On the first anniversary of 9/11, the president of the families of Flight 93 making a speech at the memorial site, and he says, and I'm sorry I have to paraphrase, he said, "I pray that your families never experience what our families have gone through. But if your families go through this, pray that it happens in a place like Somerset, where the people extend all the compassion and best wishes they possibly can." And when he said that, the families who were sitting on an inner circle stood up and turned around and faced the community and gave us a round of applause, a standing ovation. I live with some pretty neat people.
There's more to come as we explore a local opera house, sample the wares of the Somerset Farmers Market, and head downtown to warm up at the Fire and Ice Festival. But first, show your support for Somerset and WPSU by making a pledge. Thanks.
What a great story from Henry Cook there. You are watching Our Town Somerset on your local public television station, WPSU. I don't think Henry could have said it any better. He works and lives with some pretty neat people. And we have some of those pretty neat people here in the studio tonight. Our Town Somerset, they are here to take your calls. There's our first one. Thank you very much. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. We are all about Our Town Somerset, the heart of America's county. And that's why I got my red, white, and blue on tonight. We are celebrating one of Pennsylvania's greatest central Pennsylvania towns, and it's just been a pleasure to hear all these great stories. We have a whole bunch more coming up for you, though. You're going to want to stick around. It's a great program celebrating central Pennsylvania towns, and tonight's all about Our Town Somerset. 1-800-245-9779. We have a special guest coming up from Somerset, but right now, Jesse has some thank you gifts to tell you about, right, Jess?
We're going to hold off on that special guest. We're going to let you try to figure out who we have on here. But if you do give us a call at 1-800-245-9779, our lovely phone volunteers that Kevin mentioned back here would like to take your call. You can also make your gift online at WPSU.org. And whenever you do that, we'd like to thank you for making your support known to us here and to your friends and neighbors as well. At the $75 level, we will send you a copy of tonight's program, Our Town Somerset. You can watch the whole thing in entirety without us interrupting it. How much better could that be, right? Or for $120, we'll send you 2 copies of that program. Like I had mentioned in the break earlier, we are coming up on that season whenever people like to give gifts, and this would make a fantastic gift for families and loved ones who may be out of town, or just as a family heirloom to have. But we can give that to you with your gift of support whenever you call 1-800-245-9779. We have some folks from the last break that we didn't quite get a chance to thank, so we want to thank them now. Thanks to Dean and Ellen Hoddle of Somerset. Thank you so much for your pledge. And then And we have some love for Jessica back here, who is our bee queen. She has thanks from Jim and Martha Onstead. They says, hi, Jessica, and thank you, WPSU. And to Tammy and Bob Sheeler in honor of our PA Honey Queen. So, and they're from Richmond Hill, Georgia, actually. We've got Georgia on our mind this evening. You can be the next one that we can thank at 1-800-245-9779. And now, without further ado, Greg Peterson with our special guest.
Yes, standing with me is Mayor Scott Walker. Scott, thanks for coming down.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here tonight.
And you're in your first term?
I'm in my first term as
And did
mayor.
you ever in your wildest dreams think that the public TV station would do a show about your town in your term?
No, I did not. I never imagined I'd be here tonight.
And now you're worried about it, aren't you?
I'm a little nervous.
Well, yeah, that's okay. But you've seen the show. You like it. So, what's the big thing going on? You told me about the Main Street expansion. Anything else going on?
We have a lot of municipal projects going on, a water tank replacement, a lot of public infrastructure work going on in Somerset Borough right now.
So Somerset is more than just a place on the turnpike to get dinner, right?
It is. There's so much more, as you've seen so far in our program.
Yeah, there's a lot of great things in the town, and you want to miss that. We shot a lot of the interviews at the Historical Museum. It's a little bit outside of town, but it's well worth going to.
Very worthwhile.
Yeah.
There's a lot of amazing artifacts stored there that our community's lucky to have.
So what do you want to tell the folks in Somerset who are watching?
Well, I want to thank everybody that's watching tonight and invite everybody to call in their pledge.
Uh-huh.
I challenge all the elected public officials in Somerset County to call in, make a pledge, and support our town and the work WPSU is doing.
What number should they call?
They should call 1-800-245-9779.
You're a quick study. Thank you very much for doing this, and thanks for rolling out the red carpet when we did the show down there. You're great and made us feel very welcome.
Well, it's my pleasure to have you in our town.
So we have a goal of 150 calls tonight. We have 25 so far, so we're ways there. But call right now at 800-245-9779. Your Honor, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Great job, Mayor. Great job. I think we're all out of business. I think the mayor's going to be doing this for us for the future. Ken Halverson, we want to thank you for calling in. Ken and Rita Halverson, thank you for calling in your pledge of support to your local public television station, WPSU. I believe their son's back here answering phones tonight, so thank you. The great folks of Somerset are here to take your calls, 1-800-245-9779. We do have another thank you to pass along. We want to thank Bev and Rick Oling, also of Somerset, for calling in their pledge of support. It is your pledges of support for our town, Somerset, that makes the next Our Town possible. It gives us the seed money to create the next production, to go out and spend time in the next central Pennsylvania community. Our producers and directors go into the town, they meet some folks, and we end up with 20 great stories that we take out of the town that we tell, and we help the producers, we help the townspeople be their own producers and directors and help them tell the stories. Many of the townspeople go around and collect photos and video for us, and it's really just a great experience for everyone involved, and that's what your gift, your pledge of support creates. It allows us to celebrate the great central Pennsylvania communities that we're all so proud of, and I think Somerset is a pure example of the patriotism and the kindness and all of the great values that central Pennsylvanians kind of share one another. 1-800-245-9779 is that number to call, or you can log on to WPSU.org. It is a safe, secure site, and I believe Jess has some more thank yous, so we're going to send it right on over to Jess.
I certainly do. We have some more folks to thank here this evening. The phones are starting to light up, so give us a call right now so that you can get your spot in line here, 1-800-245-9779. If by some reason, we hope that happens, the phones all become busy, you can go to WPSU.org to make your gift as well. And we'd love to be able to thank you on air whenever you do that. So we want to thank Amy Ankermeyer of Somerset in honor of all the fine folks in Somerset. And I would have to agree that these are some fine folks here in the studio, so I'm sure there are many, many more who live in Somerset as well. Attorney John Barkman of Somerset, this is in honor of Blair and Billy Barkman, so thank you very much for that. and from Kim Sarver of Berlin, who has been a Somerset Borough employee for 10 years. It must be a great place if someone from Berlin comes over to work in Somerset there. So thank you so much for your support this evening. We'd love to be able to thank you on air at 1-800-245-9779. And also, once you make your gift, if you would like to tweet out on social media, hashtag OT Somerset, we'd love to hear from you there as well to let your friends and neighbors know that you support public television in central Pennsylvania. We have some great stories that are coming up that I want to let you know about. We're going to hear about the Rockwood Opera House, the Farmers Market, the Somerset County Flag Committee, and the Fire and Ice Festival. And you know, it's a really cool thing about this show is that you learn about all of these festivals and all these really cool places throughout the towns. My family and I actually just recently took a road trip to one of our town communities to check it out after we had aired the show, because it is just such a neat way to learn about all of our great central Pennsylvania communities. But these stories can only continue with your support. Won't you be the next one to give us a call at 1-800-245-9779? I believe Greg has somebody else to thank.
Yes, and this is a pledge that's not on the Fritz at all, because it's from Jay Fritz and Ava and Anthony Fritz. I'm sorry, bad joke. 800-245, and they live in Stoystown. So thank you very much for calling in, Jay and the Fritzes. So your pledge right now is important. The Our Town project is a uniquely public television project, because we come into town, we don't tell people, you shoot that, you shoot that. We don't do something that's only 3 or 4 minutes long. We do a show that's a whole hour long, and so we can show all the different stories, all the different places, and have the stories told by the townsfolk, by the people who live there. No other project is like that, and that's why it's a public television project. And you, as part of the public, make it possible when you call 800-245-9779 or go online to WPSU.org. For a $75 pledge, we can send you a DVD of Our Town Somerset, or for $120, we can send you 2 copies. Keep one, send one away. Just our way of saying thanks for your support of your public TV station, WPSU. Nationwide, the single largest source of income for public TV station is from viewers like you. So that's why when you watch a program on WPSU, it says maybe this corporation, that corporation, and it says viewers like you. Thank you. So we're trying to say thank you tonight. And another thing a lot of people don't understand is that you might watch us via satellite, or you might watch us via cable TV, and you spend, you spend a good deal of money on your cable or your satellite bill, and that goes to pay for a lot of the channels that you may or may not watch on the service. But none of that money, not a single nickel of the money you send to your cable company or your satellite company, comes to public television. We think it's more important that there's access to us, so we eschewed the money, we took the access, so everybody could have public TV. You can have it. Call 800-245-9779. We have a goal of 150 pledges. I think we're at about 35 or 40 pledges, so we still have a long ways to go. I turn around and I see 2 phones open, so give us a call and make your pledge. Kevin?
2 phones open. We have more thank yous to pass along. Leanne Schrock of Somerset calling in and says, thank you, WPSU, for coming to our town, Somerset, and telling our stories. We want to thank our town, Somerset, for inviting us into their community and for their pledges of support for their local public television station, WPSU, because it really is viewers like you that make this type of programming possible. We get a little bit of money from the federal government. There's really no state dollars anymore, and we have wonderful underwriters, but it's really viewers like you, viewers who create this seed money for wonderful programs like Our Town Somerset that celebrate your communities. No other station on your set is going to take time away to tell great stories, quality stories about your central Pennsylvania friends and neighbors. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. We got the great folks of Somerset here taking your calls tonight. The people who told wonderful stories that you're hearing throughout the evening. We have a lot of great programming, a lot of the programs still to come, including a story that's very personal to me. As a young kid out of college, I went and did my first story in news on a very big thing in Somerset, and so we're going to talk all about that coming up, and I'm really glad to see that it's such a great tradition still continuing in Somerset. Jessica.
I'm anxious to see that story as well, Kevin Conaway. The more you know. Won't you be the next one to give us a call this evening, though, while we're right here, right now? 1-800-245-9779. We have some lines that are open now. We were full there for a moment, but we have lines open again. This would be the perfect opportunity to give us a call and show your support for Somerset. And whenever you do, we would love to thank you on air, like Kathy and John Faust of Somerset. Thank you so much for calling in with your support. Thank you to, oh, and pardon me if I butcher your name, Angelito Panzaniti. Thank you so much for your gift of support. And as somebody whose maiden name was kind of hard to pronounce, I'm very sorry if I butchered your name. And thanks to Tom and Brenda Walker of Stoystown. Thank you so much for your support. We want to be able to thank you next. You know, frequently on this program, we have people give shout outs to the class of whatever your graduating year was, or to the people who work at this place or that place. If you have a great message that you'd like to pass along, we have a couple of lines here on the form. You're more than welcome to do that. We want to hear your stories and why you love Somerset. But that can only happen if you pick up the phone and make that call of support at 1-800-245-9779. You can also make your gift online at WPSU.org. And Greg, it looks like you have a nice little stack of names there.
I have some names to thank, including David and County Faust of Berlin, Pennsylvania. Robert and Wayne Lohr of Stoystown. Thank you very much. Also heard from Pat Miller of Boswell, Pennsylvania. Thanks a lot, Pat. We also heard from Rebecca and Brian DeFebo. Okay, thank you. Becky and Rebecca and Brian, thank you very much for doing that. And we also heard from Anna Marie Sauerbauer from Jennerstown, Pennsylvania, and Charles Corns and Gail Ryan of Somerset, all calling in a pledge tonight at 800-245-9779, supporting their public TV station and supporting Somerset. $75 will send you a single DVD of the show you're watching right now. $120 we can send you two. It is our way of saying thanks for your support of your public TV station. And you can charge on your Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover, or we can send you a reminder in the mail. You send us a check. It's just that easy. But your pledge is important. 800-245-9779. I have a goal of 150 calls tonight. I'll be back with an update on that in just a couple of minutes. Kevin?
Absolutely. More thank yous to pass along from our town, Somerset, calling in their pledges of support for their local public television station, your local public television station, WPSU. We want to thank Athea Brown. Athea called in from Somerset in honor of her granddaughter, Mina Knapp. So thank you very much, Athea, for calling in. She says to her granddaughter, Mina Knapp, love Jimmy. I'm guessing Jimmy's her name for Grammy. I like that. That's cool. Yeah, Jimmy. Absolutely. Christy Schaefer calling in from Stahl's Jewelry. So thank you. Also of Somerset on Main Street in Somerset. And we want to thank Robert and Roberta Antrim calling in also from Somerset. Another of just the latest round of names that are calling in to say we love local public television. We love hearing local stories like our town, Somerset, on our public television station, WPSU, and we're all about that. And we want to thank and hear from all of you in Somerset tonight and the surrounding communities. You know, it is your gift tonight that makes the next Our Town possible. And as Greg said, we're 80-something with these, so we've been doing them quite a while, and it's thanks to viewers like you who constantly step up and support their local public television station, WPSU. You know, we have a lot of great people across Pennsylvania who are committed in many ways, as we're learning about tonight in Somerset. They're kind people, they're great people, and they're people who value their country, who value their public television station, and we hear that constantly from them. And that's one of the reasons I love working here, as I'm sure Greg and Jessica do too, is we get to experience these wonderful people from around central Pennsylvania that we get to spend time with and go into these great communities and tell stories and spend the evening in the studio with them just here tonight. So we're thrilled to hear from you, Somerset, so give us a call, 1-800-245-9779. Jess, more thank yous?
I have more folks to thank. I love thanking people on air. It's my favorite thing to do whenever I'm asked to come in here to help host, because these are the real people that are keeping us on the air, and we want to thank you for that. So we want to thank Carol and Fred Rosemeyer. Excuse me, sorry about that, Fred from Somerset. Thank you for your gift of support. Oh, this person put a pronunciation guide on here. Fantastic. Jack Mossholder of Mossholder Insurance Agency in Somerset. Thank you so much for your support this evening. Thanks to Linda and Chris Meyer of Indian Lake. Linda or Chris, I'm not sure which one here, is running for county commissioner. Your public service announcement this evening is get out and vote here in a few weeks. Very important to do. Thank you so much for your gift of support. And thank you to Peggy and Stuart Saylor of Friedens in honor of the Somerset County Flag Committee. We want to be able to thank you next at 1-800-245-9779. And whenever you do make that pledge of support, we would love to be able to send you a DVD for your gift of $75. We'll send you a copy of tonight's program. And also included in that are the promos that you may have been seeing running on WPSU. There's a kind of a serious one, and then there is just a goofy one. So you can take your pick in between those two. That is for your gift of support of $75. For $120, we have 2 DVDs, one to keep and one to give to somebody else who really loves Somerset maybe as much as you, or just would like to share what's going on in your town with somebody else. The important thing, though, is that you get up to the plate, pick up that phone and call 1-800-245-9779. You can also go online and make your gift at WPSU.org. Greg?
Thanks to Tom and Betty Anderson of Somerset for calling in a pledge. We thank you very much. We have a goal tonight of 150 pledges. We're at 45 pledges, so we still have a ways to go. So you can call at 800-245-9779 and make your pledge. Our phone volunteers, including the lady you see on right now, she's the queen bee of Pennsylvania. She's the head beekeeper. You saw the story. She came down with a bunch of other people from Somerset. Actually, they came up, if you look at a map, they came up from Somerset tonight to answer the phones, and we thank them very much for their volunteer service and for their working on the show. A lot of these people worked on the show themselves, so we thank them for doing double duty, and we'd like to thank you for a pledge. It only happens when you call 800-245-9779 or go online to WPSU.org and make your pledge. It's a simple thing to do. You call, you talk to our phone volunteers, take some information, and it's all done. But it only happens if you call with your pledge right now. Kevin?
Absolutely, absolutely. We want to thank the Somerset Trust Company, who sent a contingent of volunteers tonight. A contingent. We want to thank the Somerset Trust Company. They are an underwriter as well, and I think they also were kind enough to contribute for a couple hotel rooms for the folks tonight that they're staying over. So we thank Somerset Trust Company for their support. There were a couple other underwriters: J&J Truck Bodies and Trailers and Rockwood Mill Shops and Opera House. I believe the Rockwood Mill Shops and Opera House. That's the story coming up as soon as we get back from break, so you're going to want to stick around for that. It is a really great story that you're going to enjoy, and it's a really special place that we're going to get to hear more about. So we want to send a thank you out to Dawn Kaufman, who called in honor of Jocelyn. Thank you, Dawn, for calling in, of Somerset. Yet another of the names we want to thank for calling in their pledge of support to their local public television station, WPSU. Just a reminder, a gift of $75, a membership pledge in the amount of $75 will get you a DVD of Our Town Somerset that you're enjoying here tonight, as Jessica likes to say, uninterrupted by Jessica, Greg, and I. Or if you can step up your giving to $120, we would be glad to send 2 DVDs, one for you to keep and one to give to a family or friend, family member or friend. One of the things that I love about this series, the Our Town Somerset, is that you get to see all the great things about Central Pennsylvania communities, their history, their culture, their sports teams, where they're headed in the future, and it is such a connective tissue. While every town we visit is unique, there is also certain qualities that I see in each town when we visit that are just part of Central Pennsylvania, and it makes me so proud of the community I'm a part of, and I think you feel the same way. And if you want to put a dollar value on that, that's what we're asking you to do tonight, is to say, I want to see more programs that make me feel good about my town, about my Central Pennsylvania roots and heritage, and where we're headed. So if you can do that tonight, that's what we're asking you to do. The folks here from Somerset are here to answer your phone calls at 1-800-245-9779. Jessica.
We have some more folks to thank, but first, we had a tweet come in that said that most people from Somerset consider themselves to be from southwestern PA, not central PA, so we want to make sure that we note that, and that just goes to show what a big coverage area WPSU has, because we are squarely in the center of Pennsylvania, and the reach that we have as a public television station is quite wide. So that's one of the other great things about this program, is that we get to explore these other places that maybe otherwise we wouldn't have found, just because we live in such a geographically large area. So we're thankful for that correction, and we're glad to hear from you folks on Twitter with hashtag OTSomerset. We also would like to thank some folks that have called in with their gifts of support from the Halverson family and an Oscar for Ken, who was featured in the last segment. So the Oscar goes to, we'll have a family from Somerset to thank. We have Spencer and Stephanie Williams, Tim and Lori Bittner, and Abby and Justin Bittner, all of Somerset. Thank you so much for your gift of support this evening to the Bittner-Williams family. And Sherry St. Clair of Boswell, thank you so much for your gift of support this evening. Won't you be the next one to give us a call at 1-800-245-9779. We do have some phone lines that are open. If you've been waiting to make your call, this is the perfect opportunity to do so. We'll be going back to the show in a moment, but now is the time to make your call. 1-800-245-9779. Greg?
55 pledges towards our goal of 150 pledges. So we're getting there. Now we're down to 95 pledges. So I can do the math from here. Thanks to Mary Dinning of Berlin for calling in a pledge. Thank you very much, Mary. Also, Mark and Susan Friedline of Somerset. Thank you very much for calling in. Also, Vince and Melanie Barbera from Somerset. They called in a pledge. Thank you. And also the Rassalona family, who called in, a Rassalona family from Somerset. They called in a pledge as well. So thank you very much for calling 800-245-9779. We're here tonight to raise the money to purchase, produce, and broadcast the programs that you watch on WPSU. That's right, we purchase the programs. They don't come for free. We pay our fair share of the programming bill, just as every other public TV station around the United States pays their bill. Now, we don't pay as much as Pittsburgh or Philadelphia does. They're bigger stations and bigger markets, but we pay a fair amount. We pay over $1.3 million for all the PBS programs you watch throughout the year. That's our fair share, but your help right now at 800-245-9779 helps to pay for those programs, help to make more Our Towns possible. 800-245-9779 or online at WPSU.org. Going back now to Our Town Somerset. Thank you.
You can also make your contribution at WPSU.org. Click on Donate at the top of the page. It's always available and easy to use. Thanks.
I'm Judy Pletcher. I'm the owner of Rockwood Mill Shops and Opera House. Rockwood Mill Shops and Opera House is a historical building that I purchased in 2000. It was always a feed mill and a lumber mill with an opera house upstairs that basically was vaudeville. And I've restored it that we have all sorts of little shops on the first floor. We have an ice cream parlor, a pizza shop, and all sorts of retail shops that I'm proud to say most of them are American and locally made. The Opera House does small events, anything from a baby shower to a wedding. And we also do theater, musical tributes, and children's presentations. The building itself was built in the late 1880s, early 1890s by Penrose Wolf for a lumber and feed mill. Passed on through 3 generations to Levi Wolf and then on to Helen Wolf. And the Friedline family actually rented the building from 1952 to 1992. And then it was vacant for 8 years till I purchased it in 2000. I wanted to do a ladies' fitness center, but then it was deciding where were we going to do this fitness center. Every time I would drive by, it was like, you know, that building has potential. Everybody said it was calling my name. We went to see the building. Once I saw the Opera House, game plan changed entirely. Went home and told my husband, I'm buying the feed store. And his exact words were, woman, have you lost your mind? This was supposed to be a hobby. I had 2 carpenters, 2 plumbers, and 2 electricians. And then from our job, we would go there every night at 5 o'clock till 11 o'clock, every night scrubbing, cleaning, painting. The hobby lasted 10 months, and then it became a full-time occupation. I love what I'm doing now. We have an ice cream parlor, coffee shop, and our own bakery. We try to do everything nostalgically. Most everything is scratch made. A lot of them are my mother's recipes and my grandmother's recipes that we use for the baking and the soups and so forth. And in the retail space, a lot of it is local artisans and American-made products. We also have a fitness center in the basement, and we have a massage therapist that comes in the upstairs. It's home. Rockwood's home. The reason I did develop it the way I did was we always had to come to Somerset for everything that we wanted. So we're kind of like Rockwood's mini mall, where you can purchase just about anything that you might need.
I'm Carol Pyle. I did the Somerset County Farmers Market. We have 25 vendors, and we're located here in Somerset. The Somerset County Farmers Market is located in the rear parking lot of the Georgian Place. We go from Memorial Day to Thanksgiving every Saturday from 9 to 1.
Here we go.
The farmers market is now in their 10th season. This is a producer-only market, which means that they can only bring what they grow in their own farm or their own backyard. So the things that you get at the farmers market will vary from season to season. The types of things you'll see at the market is fresh fruits and vegetables. They were picked first thing in the morning and brought straight to the market. You'll see various value-added products, yarn, soaps, lotions. We also have cheese, jellies, anything you can imagine. You could almost get everything you need at the farmer's market. Probably the sauerkraut is my favorite thing that they make at the Somerset County Farmers Market. But always those fresh fruits and vegetables every season, we look forward to it. The most important thing about shopping at a farmer's market is that you know that you are supporting those farmers that live within our own community. You're helping your neighbor down the road.
Today, our first time actually, we're introducing yogurt to Somerset County Market, so it's actually going pretty well.
When you come here to Somerset County and you look around at all the beautiful countryside, that is thanks to those farmers. Whenever you purchase things at the farmer's market, most of that money stays within our own community. That's the most important thing for me. I'm a native of Fayette County. I moved to Somerset County about 33 years ago. The people make Somerset a good place to live. I love that they are focused on their community and they want to do good. Everyone pulls for the children here, that we just want them to do good and succeed and come back and help our community.
My name is Ron Horner, and I'm here to talk a little bit about the Somerset County Flag Committee. In the early 1990s, some folks in the community collectively decided that it would be nice to have some sort of an expression for the patriotism of the town, of the area. And they took it upon themselves to secure some donations and to erect a large flagpole, a 120-foot flagpole, upon which is hung a 30 by 60-foot flag. Back in 1995, there was a flag raised on Flag Day, and it was a big celebration for the community. Then in the late 1990s, early 2000s, it all sort of just fell into a state of disrepair. At the time, I was the president of the local chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution, and someone approached one of our members and said, why don't you guys take it upon yourselves to do something about this and to try to get the flag back up again? We've been up and running ever since, and recently we've just completed the construction of a ramp to give those folks with some physical challenges or disabilities the opportunity to get up to the flag site and to experience everything that's there for themselves. When people come to Somerset, when they're passing through the area, there are usually two things that they can recognize very quickly and that they see very obviously. One of them is the county courthouse. The other thing that they can see very quickly is the large flag, which is at the Turnpike interchange. We have some tributes there to various veterans from the area, those folks from Somerset County who've been the recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross. They're all listed there, as well as those residents of Somerset County who are recipients of the Medal of Honor. Since we think of them actually as residents of Somerset County, we have the names of the heroes of Flight 93 all engraved at the site as well. It's sort of become, in some ways, a tribute to the veterans, although it's more than that. It's something that's for the entire community to just go and to appreciate and to collectively express their patriotism by visiting the site. I think that all of us who live here know that there's something special about living in Somerset. It's hard to quantify that. Home, family, patriotism, things like that are important. And the Flag Committee, I think, began probably for the same reasons that we're trying to keep it going today, which is just the fact that we're happy to live here, we're happy for the kind of freedoms that we have as Americans. We sort of have the best of a number of different worlds by living here. The whole small town values thing, it's here.
My name is Stephanie Williams. I'm Executive Director of Somerset Inc., and my organization sponsors the Fire and Ice Festival. It's an ice sculpture festival with lots of other activities added on. It happens the Martin Luther King weekend. We do it that weekend because it's the second biggest ski weekend in Somerset County. One of our former police chiefs had gone to Ligonier for their ice fest and said, you know, our weather's even worse than their weather is. Let's take advantage of it. It caught on right away. And here we are all these many years later still doing it. We use Master Gourmet Quality Ice. They're an ice company out of Pittsburgh. They usually bring 3 or 4 carvers. A lot of the carving is done prior to the festival and kept in their ice house, but they save the bigger pieces to do here. They're real crowd pleasers. That's part of the entertainment, is watching them carve as well. We have a 5K run. We have costume characters. We have a hot stuffed chili and soup cook-off. We have entertainment throughout the weekend. We have children's activities. We have teen events. There's really something for everyone. About 3 years ago, we started doing a theme. Last year, we had the Frozen Princesses. This year, we'll have the Frozen Princesses as well as Cinderella. Our theme this year will be Fairy Tales Can Come True. Last year, it was Blast from the Past, and the princesses really had nothing to do with that, but they were a real hit. People literally drove from all over to come see the princesses. Somerset Inc. is a Main Street program. We have been involved in revitalizing the central business district of Somerset. We work with the building people on the facades of their buildings and paint and that sort of thing. And we also work to recruit new businesses. We do promotions like Fire and Ice, which bring potential customers into the service area that may not have come if there hadn't been an event. It's wonderful to see the streets filled with people. It's a great small town. People work together, organizations work together. We work very closely with the Chamber of Commerce. We work closely with Laurel Arts. We support each other and help each other. I don't think you find that in all small towns, but I think people love their home and they want to see things better, so they're willing to work in a variety of things to, make things better.
There's more to come as we visit a longtime downtown business, look into the thriving art scene, and learn how one group helps the entire community of Somerset. But first, show your support for Somerset and WPSU by making a pledge. Thanks.
Welcome back here. We're going to take a small break from Our Town Somerset to ask for your support around this program at 1-800-245-9779. Watching all of that about the Fire and Ice Festival. I can't believe we're getting to that time of year again, but we are. And what better way to enter into this season coming up than to possibly give us a call at 1-800-245-9779. And for $75, we could send you a copy of tonight's program. Or for $120, you have 2 DVDs that you could give during these cold winter months when we have lots of holidays and gift giving going on. The choice is yours. The amount that you choose to give is yours. But the important thing to do is that you call at 1-800-245-9779. And whenever you do call in with your gift of support, we will also thank you on air. So we'd like to say a special thank you to Ed and Janice Ogline of Jerome. This is in honor of their granddaughter, Rebecca Noggle, who is a senior honor roll student at Somerset High School. A bunch of smarties there in Somerset. So thank you so much for your gift of support. Thank you to Hemiger Homes of Somerset, that business there in town. Thank you so much for your pledge this evening. And thank you to Tracy and Chuck Sanders of Jenners. Now, they are giving their gift in memory of Charlie Sanders, who worked for Somerset Borough for 35 years. So thank you so much to the Sanders in memory of Charlie Sanders. And thank you so much to Charlie for all of his years of service to Somerset Borough. We'd love to be able to thank you next at 1-800-245-9779. We have a goal tonight of 150 calls. And how many did we say we have? We're at 60. So we have a little bit of work to do here, Somerset. So we're challenging you this time. We want to see all of these phones lit up, let's say 4 times during this break. I think that we can do it, but it starts with you at 1-800-245-9779. Kevin?
I know we can do it, Somerset, because I've seen you do it through 2 breaks already. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. We have some many thank yous to pass along. We want to thank Alan and Lana Miller. Thank you for calling in. Also on behalf of Luther P. Miller of Somerset, thank you for calling in. We want to thank Greg and Karen France of Somerset, Pennsylvania for calling in. And we want to thank Chris and Craig Sprock of Davidsville, which is about 15 minutes from Somerset, and that's one of the great things. We like to hear from those neighboring towns too. We want to hear and be able to thank you, because it's in many ways when we do in our town, Somerset, we're telling the stories of the surrounding communities. So 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call, or you can log on to WPSU.org. It is a safe, secure site that you can feel good about giving your pledge. Again, you know, we are at 61 calls, so we have 89. Yeah, I'm in communications, like we don't do math well. So 89 calls to go. If we can, as Jessica said, we can light these phones up 4 times, and I know we can do it, Somerset. We are anxious to hear from you. Greg?
Give us a call and make your pledge at 800-245-9779. Thanks to Kim and Esther and Joshua and Joseph Ankney from Friedens, Pennsylvania. Thank you very much for calling in. We also heard from Amanda Butterfield of Myersdale, dedicated to Evelyn. And then a big thanks goes out to Ashton Frazier, who's a photographer who gave us some shots via drone that you've seen somewhere in the show several times. And we wanted to thank him and give a shout out to him. Thank for his contribution to the show. It really made some of the scenes really look great. So thank you very much, Ashton, for doing that. 800-245-9779. Our phone volunteers behind me are from Somerset. They came up tonight to answer your phone calls. So keep them busy. Call 800-245-9779. $75 pledge. We can send you a DVD of Our Town Somerset as a way of saying thanks. For $120, we can send you 2 copies. Keep one, send one away. But call now, make your pledge. We have a goal of 150 pledges. We're at about 85 to go. We've got a ways to go. We can get there if you call right now at 800-245-9779.
What we do here at Public Television is people rallying together around this cause of stories that you won't find anywhere else. The Our Town series is the epitome of public television. It's people within their communities working together with their public television station to tell the stories of what makes this community great. WPSU doesn't go into these communities and say, you're going to talk about this, and you're going to talk about this, and you're going to talk about this. What we do is we say, what is important to your community? You get to pick which stories that we tell in this show. You get to compile the footage so that the story is told in the way that you want it to be told, and then we broadcast it in this program here tonight, and then we make it available on DVD, so it is truly a story of what the community is at that moment in time. And I don't know if he's mentioned it yet, but Greg over here, he's actually the person who created this series, and it's being replicated. Aw, shucks, he says. It's being replicated now at different public television stations across the country because it's what public television was built for, are programs like Our Town. But we can only keep these programs on the air with your support. It's expensive to produce these programs. So what we use these dollars here tonight will be to tell the stories of the next town. We can only do it with your support at 1-800-245-9779, and we'd love to be able to thank you on air, just like some fine folks that Kevin is going to thank right now. Kevin?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, Jessica mentioned a little earlier that someone had tweeted us to kind of say, hey, you know, Somerset is kind of known for southwestern Pennsylvania. Well, I can't think of a better night for central Pennsylvania to adopt Somerset. I mean, after all, the heart of America's county, I mean, has to be at the heart of Pennsylvania. And so you are honorary Central Pennsylvanians tonight, although we're very glad to be part of southwestern PA too. Here, your local public television station, WPSU. We're doing very well on getting those calls circulating. We have a lot of thank yous to pass along. And Somerset, we're counting on you tonight to pledge your pledge of support for great programming like Our Town Somerset. We want to thank Robert Lape of Roaring Springs who called in. Robert is the president of the class of 1953 of Somerset. So we are glad to hear from Robert Lape tonight. Thank you for calling in your pledge of support. We want to thank Susan Conrad, calling in from Newcastle, Delaware, or I'm guessing maybe logging in from Newcastle, Delaware. She's calling in memory of her grandparents, John and Leora Stahl, who were lifelong residents of Somerset. And we want to thank Wade and Peggy Acker of Somerset for calling in their pledge of support. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. There are some wonderful folks here from Somerset tonight, including Jessica, to take your phone calls. 1-800-245-9779. Greg.
Also, people to thank include John Fiesta of Hidden Valley, Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. Arlene and Buck DeWitt of Somerset called in. Thank you very much. And also Carl and Loretta Kaiser of Somerset. Thank you very much for calling in your pledge at 800-245-9779. The Our Town Project is a great way for us to make people make friends for WPSU. We have a large coverage area, and we wanted to do something that would connect all these communities with the public TV station. Our transmitters are in Clearfield. Our studios are here in State College. So if you draw an X through the box of Pennsylvania, you'll wind up right, between Clearfield and State College. We're centrally located. And so we have a big coverage area. And the very first Our Town was up in Bradford, probably about as far away as we can get. And so not too long after that, we did Somerset because we wanted to get the breadth and depth of our coverage area. So call now, 800-245-9779. We'd like to get 150 pledges. And how many pledges do we have, Susie? We have 69 pledges right now, so it's close to, so that's 50, 60, we're halfway mark. 800-245-9779.
Like we said, math might be a little hard for us, but what we do know is that when those phones ring, it makes us very happy because that is what is showing your support for what we're doing here tonight and what we're doing as a community, all of us together, to bring these stories to you at home and all over the world through WPSU.org/live. And we will have some more folks here that we would like to thank, and they both put pronunciation guides on here, so thank you very much. We want to thank Brett and Becky Wilmot of Somerset. Thank you so much for your gift. And thanks to Rick and Linda Varese of Freedoms, PA. Thank you so much for your gift. You can be the next one at 1-800-245-9779, or you can go online to WPSU.org to make your gift. It was pretty neat. I told you maybe in the last break that I had a chance to watch the show ahead of time tonight so that I could learn a little bit more about Somerset. And I saw a person that I knew on this show. The very last story of the night, you'll have to keep your eyes open. Sharon Warner, who's a former Scholastic Scrimmage coach, which was a show that we aired here on WPSU for years. Somerset actually made it to the finals, to the Grand Championship one year. And I remember Sharon, who was lovely, and her co-teacher, who were coaches together. They were just fantastic people. And as a matter of fact, we sent a crew down there to do an Our Town Kids Cut with the people of Somerset because we had such a great time with Sharon whenever she was here as a scrimmage coach. So it just goes to show these people, we all know somebody somewhere. We're all tied together in some way. And that kind of models what we're trying to do here tonight. We're all working together. We all are tying in together here to show our support around public television at 1-800-245-9779. We'd love to hear from you next on your support for great programs just like this. Kevin?
Absolutely. We have some thank yous to pass along. But first, I want to give a note from one of our producers here at WPSU that has since moved on to other pastures in New York City. Carly Greiner, who was actually one of the producers that went out and did the interviews in Somerset. She wanted to pass along. She misses the gang at WPSU so much, but she feels, and she's watching tonight online, Our Town Somerset, great show. Great people, happy to have produced and been a part of this fantastic programming. And I think that pretty much sums up the way all of us producers feel here. The other person that went out and did those interviews that day with her was Lindsay Whistle, who is also not with us tonight because she is on her honeymoon. So we want to congratulations to Lindsay and Casey, who are out there tonight. But that is one of the great things about working here at WPSU as a producer. I get to go out and meet these wonderful people that are in each of these towns and spend time with them. And it really makes me proud of the central Pennsylvania communities that we serve, and I'm very proud that WPSU can do that, and I know all of us who work here are, and it's great to spend time with the great townspeople like Mayor Walker, who you see right there on answering phones right now. We do have some thank yous to pass along. I want to thank Kathy. And now, Kathy, forgive me if I mispronounce this, and I will get it right before the night's over, so you can call me back. Zabornavancic. And you know what? It sort of reminds me of Dorothy Zbornak from Golden Girls fame, you know? So I like that. So Kathy called in memory of Bob Will, the former Somerset County Commissioner. So Kathy, thank you for your pledge of support to your local public television station, WPSU. And thank you for recognizing a community leader like Bob Will. We have 2 phones open right now, so this is a good time to call, 1-800-245-9779. And we also want to thank George and Ruth Friedland of Somerset, Pennsylvania for calling in. Again, 1-800-245-9779. Greg, there's some thank you gifts folks can get,
people
right?
to thank.
Yep.
Yes, Joanne and Andy McGonigal of Somerset, thank you very much. Barry and Debbie Baker from Somerset calling in honor of Officer Al Putman, a borough police officer. Thank you very much for that. And also we heard from Marlon Sherbine in Somerset, Pennsylvania. People calling in, making their pledges at 800-245-9779 in support of their public TV station, WPSU. Now, it's gone a little quiet, and we have 4 phones open. The other people talking on the phone. So call right now if you had trouble getting through. Call right now with your pledge. We're on our way to 150 pledges. And how many now we have? 76 trombones. So we're we're over halfway there. Give us a call, 800-245-9779. Jess?
I would love to see us break 100 before the end of this break. Might be kind of difficult. I think we can do it. We can light up those phones a couple times. Very easy to go on to WPSU.org. I've actually made gifts through that method myself. So it's super easy. Click, click, click. You're done. So give us a call or go online. Whichever way is easiest for you is the way to do it. We just want you to show your support tonight for this program and programs like it that you find right here on public television. We want to thank, all right, I think that we may have opened up a can of worms because this is from James Yoder, who is also running for Somerset County Commissioner. So no matter who you vote for, please just go out and vote here in a couple of weeks. But I love that. Oh, okay.
Because Bob and Susie Bastian of Friedens, Pennsylvania called in, and Bob and Susie wanted to remind us to vote on November 3rd. So that is a good reminder for everyone. Remember to vote on November 3rd. And it makes sense that we're hearing that from Somerset. I can't think of one of the more patriotic communities that we've visited while we've been doing the Our Town series. It's certainly a community that is the heart of the America's county, and Somerset is certainly the heart of that. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. If you can make a pledge in the amount of $75, we'll be glad to send along a DVD of Our Town Somerset to you, and you'll be able to see many of those great stories that we've seen tonight. A step up of giving to $120 level will get you 2 DVDs of Our Town Somerset. We have 5 phones open right now, so give us a call, 1-800-245-9779.
And
Greg.
taking it from Kevin, this has nothing to do with voting. Jeff and Cindy Bender of Friedens called in a pledge. Thank you very much. But actually, when you make a pledge, you're kind of voting for your public TV stations. You're voting for Somerset. 800-245-9779. Cast your pledge, cast your vote in favor of public television at 800-245-9779. Make your pledge now. The Our Town Project is a great project that WPSU pioneered. We keep doing it because people respond to it, and because of your pledges, we can do more of them. 800-245-9779. Jessica?
We have somebody else to thank here this evening. Thank you to Eleanor Holliday of Somerset. Eleanor is a proud graduate of the class of 1947. So thank you so much, Eleanor, for calling in here this evening. We'd love to hear from you. If you graduated, are born and raised and live in Somerset, we'd love to hear from you in representing your graduating class or any other special messages you'd like to pass along here. We've been having some fun here in the studio with reading those notes on air. We want to thank you, but the only way that we can thank you is if you call in and if you make a pledge. So go to the phone, 1-800-245-9779, or you can go online to WPSU.org. There's a place on there where you can leave a note for things that you may want to have a say on air. And we would love to be able to thank you and to relay your message that you may have for us. But the important thing, though, is that you do take that step. Like Greg and like Kevin and we've all been saying tonight, you know, these programs are expensive to produce. And the number one thing that supports, the number one source of support for public television is viewers like you. Say it at the end of every program because it's the truth. It's your support that keeps these programs on the air. Won't you be the next one to give us a call at 1-800-245-9779? We have five phones. Math is hard. 5 phones open. 4 phones open. I don't know. We have phones that are open. I'm very sorry. But so there is time now to call in with your gift. Kevin, please take it from me.
Absolutely, and we're at 81 right now, so we have crossed that halfway margin. In Somerset, we want to keep pushing in that direction of that 150 goal. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. I can hear some of you calling already. Won't you be the next one? We want to thank Dan and Judy Mickey of Somerset, Pennsylvania. Dan and Judy would like to thank all the volunteers that help out with the local festivals, and they also want to thank WPSU for the great musical programming, and I know one of our local production spotlight is got to be on that list. So that is what WPSU is all about. We are about bringing you great local programming that you can enjoy in the comfort of your own living room, as so many of you are doing tonight. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. Another shout out to Wendy Griffith of Johnstown, Pennsylvania, the Griffith family calling in to support their local public television station, WPSU, your local public television station, WPSU. Won't you be the one to give us the next call? Greg, more.
A thank you. That gets complicated sometimes, those messages. Amanda Deal called in from Somerset, and in honor of Pastor Matt Deal's birthday, who loves PBS. Yay, thank you. Huh? It's a big deal. I get it. The name's Deal, so it's a big deal. She's funny. Also, Michelle Enos called on behalf of she's called from Johnstown, on behalf of employees of Somerset Borough to recognize 38 years of service for retired borough manager Benedict G. Vinzani Jr. Well, thank you very much. 800-245-9779. Going to go back to the last part of the show in just a few minutes, but your pledge right now can help us get to that goal of 150 pledges. 800-245-9779. We have 86 pledges, so that's 14 more to 100, and then it's downhill from there. 800-245-9779. Jess?
We are heading into the very last portion of the show. There's still time to call and make your gift at 1-800-245-9779. We have a few more folks that we'd like to thank. Lori and Roger Miller of Somerset, thank you so much for your gift of support. And to Philippi Plumbing of Somerset, thank you so much for your gift of support. Like I said, we are heading right back into the program, but now is the time to show your support for your public television station, for your town, for your community, to keep these great stories going for the next town. Won't you be the one to give us a call at 1-800-245-9779. You can also make that gift online at WPSU.org. Whatever way is easiest for you is the way to do it. We just want to hear from you. 1-800-245-9779. Enjoy the rest of Our Town, Somerset.
You can also make your contribution at WPSU.org. Click on Donate at the top of the page. It's always available and easy to use. Thanks.
My name is Missy Miller. I'm one of the pharmacists and owners at Finley's Pharmacy. We're going to do a story about Finley's Pharmacy and the history of Finley's. In 1883, Mr. Parker built a dry goods store. A gentleman by the name of Sifford, who was a traveling salesman from Baltimore, he actually became an owner later, and then he was bought out by Mr. Dusenberry. Later, Mr. Fred Finley bought out in 1954, and that's when Finley's Pharmacy started as a pharmacy. A good friend of mine was one of the owners and pharmacists at Finley's Pharmacy. So I became a delivery girl there and a stock girl and an intern, and that's kind of how I went into pharmacy school and the reason I'm now at Finley's. We just try to provide the best personal, professional care to our customers on a day-to-day basis and try to have niches that maybe other chain stores don't have, more personal touch. We have a stained glass window. Also, we have a tin ceiling, which is original to the building. We're actually going through some remodeling right now, but one thing we wanted to keep was that stained glass and also the tin ceiling. We want to keep it as historical as we can, but yet try to remodel a little bit and make it a little bit nicer. We have 2 big windows in front of Finley's Pharmacy. Over the years, we just try to put things in the window, something to just kind of set it out, you know, as like a neat little old-time store. So we just try to decorate according to the seasons. Somerset and the surrounding area, you know, it's such a nice place to live because you're not just, you know, a person coming in and out the door. When somebody comes to Finley's or to other local businesses in Somerset, they know you by name. They know things about your family. It's just a very friendly and family-oriented town, and I'm proud to be an owner of one of the businesses in Somerset.
My name is Joseph Beer, and I'm here to talk about C. Frederick Gabe, who printed the first Bible west of the Alleghenies. June 26, 1813. He was born in 1782 in the area of Hesse in Germany, and we know that he became an apprentice printer in Germany. And 1804, he came to America. Eventually, he came here to Somerset, and by 1810, he was printing several books, but in 1810, he decided to print this Bible. It's estimated that there's 5 million letters plus the spaces in this Bible. And in his day, a good printer could set 2,000 letters, spaces, etc. an hour. So it was quite an extensive piece of work. The Bible has Old, New Testament. It has the Apocrypha too. It also has a list of feast days, religious celebration days in it. And also he wrote the prologue for the Bible himself, which is a beautiful passage. This was, for him, a labor of love. He really wanted to do this. He printed 2,500 of these Bibles. Originally, in my research, it was $6 for this Bible, but we've recently found out that he upped the price to $7. And later, because I guess $7 was still a lot of money, he printed a smaller, just the New Testament, which was more affordable. I've never been able to find out what exactly he charged for that Bible. He left here around 1820, and he went to Shellsburg, Pennsylvania, and set up shop, and we don't know why he left. After the 100th anniversary of the Bible, a Pittsburgh newspaper took this Bible to printers that printed newspaper for the Post-Gazette, and they all marveled at the craftsmanship of this Bible and how wonderful it was done, and are amazed that a guy in the early 1800s could put together this massive Bible with the equipment and the technology that they had at that time. I'm not originally from Somerset. I grew up in Ohio. I'm a minister by trade and came to a church here and stayed here for 36 years. What I found is that the people here are very friendly, very kind, very committed to helping each other. I've met some different people who had loved ones on the Flight 93, and every one of them that I've met have commented about how kind and generous the people are that they met here. I just love it. I really do.
I'm Linda Peck. I'm here to talk about Laurel Arts. It started in 1976. Mrs. Philip Dressler donated the building. We do 8 shows primarily every year. We start out the year with the children's art shows from Somerset County schools, and that goes on for a few months, and then we have different artists throughout the year. We have openings for every show. We have classes, different classes in all mediums. We have an educational dance center, and we have a studio there. And we have classes there as well in painting and pottery and stained glass, just to name a few. It runs the gamut. The Somerset County Artists Association meets at Laurel Arts. Sometimes they have programs where an artist is invited to do a demonstration or give a talk. They sponsor an annual juried art show every summer that usually coincides with Summerfest. We have several affiliates. Not all of them meet at Laurel Arts, but several of them do. We have Herbal Gems, we have a knitting guild, crochet club, we have the community band. The National Paper Cutting Museum is located in the upstairs of Laurel Arts. That is the only museum in the United States that shows paper cuttings exclusively. We have paper cutters from all over the world that have pieces on display there. We are very fortunate to have Laurel Arts. I love art. I've loved art ever since I can remember. I love the rolling hills of Pennsylvania and the beauty. And when I do my artwork, I generally am inspired by nature. I love nature, I love animals, I like the woods and just the area.
My name is Sharon Warner, and I'm talking today about the Somerset Welfare League. The Somerset Welfare League started back in November of 1935. The first treasury was $32.45. This year, our group of women gave $36,000 to the community. Throughout the years, the organization has changed and the needs have changed. When it first started, it was basically hospital needs, nursery. They purchased diapers, blankets, and what I thought was unusual was cod liver oil. But the League also found that there was a need in women's health care, so we donated the first mammography x-ray machine for the Somerset Hospital. Children in the community needed help, and so we helped with the start of the first Gladehurst School for the Handicapped Children. We also dealt with the Children's Aid Home. We've given money to the fire department. We've given money to the Flag Project, Hospice, the Somerset Historical Society. We also feel education is extremely important, so we fund Allegheny Community College scholarships. We work with the libraries and things of that nature. We've actually donated over $1 million in our 80 years to community groups. In order to fund many of the projects in our community, we need to have fundraisers. Years ago, the women sold Jell-O. Women are of a different persuasion. Most women aren't looking to go buy Jell-O now. One of the ones that we are really known for is apple dumplings, and we sell apple dumplings at Somerset Historical Society. Thousands and thousands and thousands of apple dumplings. We also do a Christmas home tour every 2 years. People look forward to this. It not only raises money, but it really brings on the Christmas spirit to the community. We also do a Christmas cotillion for girls. What we ask them to do is volunteer 100 hours of service to the community. We honor them with a formal dance at the country club. It's really a lot of fun, but it's a nice way of saying volunteerism is important. I think Somerset is a community based in history, but yet striving to reach the modern times. It's a town with a heart. When you see someone that needs help, they are willing to go out of their way and help someone else. You also know a lot of the people in the community, and they're good, solid, fine folks.
And that's Our Town Somerset, a look at the Somerset County community through the eyes of its residents. Support for Our Town Somerset comes from Somerset Trust Company, serving the Somerset community for over a century with convenient locations. Information at somersettrust.com. J&J Truck Bodies and Trailers, built for the long haul. Find out more information at jjbodies.com. And viewers like you. Thank you.
You're watching Our Town Somerset on your public TV station, WPSU. We thank a lot of people here during the show, and you can see them on the screen right now. These are the people who helped put this show together. Not only the different businesses, but all the volunteers who spent their time going out and shooting videos, coming back and being interviewed so we could make our town, Somerset, as great as it is. You can make it even greater by calling right now at 800-245-9779 with your pledge, or go online to WPSU.org. You can see all the great names there. These people came together to make a great show, and a lot of them came into the studio tonight to take your pledge. So keep them busy. 800-245-9779. Call right now with your pledge and show your support. We have a goal of 150 pledges, and we're about 50 pledges away from that. So call right now with your pledges. You've been waiting. This is your final opportunity to show your support for WPSU, for Somerset, and to get a DVD copy of the show you're watching right now. For $50, we can send you $75. It's a DVD, $120 2 DVDs. Just our way of saying thanks for your support. 800-245-9779. Jessica?
That's right. We are here in the studio. This is your last opportunity to give us a call at 1-800-245-9779. We are anxious to hear from you. If you have not yet called in this evening, what are you waiting for? Now is the time to make that call. And whenever you do, we will love to thank you with a copy of tonight's program that you just saw in its entirety for $75. A gift of $75 will get you a copy of tonight's show. For $120, we'll send you 2 copies of the program. The important thing tonight, though, is that you take this opportunity, your last opportunity this evening, to make your gift of support for your town, Somerset, our town, Somerset, right here on WPSU. We have some people that we did not get a chance to thank in the last break. Thanks to Amy, Licia, and the Licia family of Rockwood. Thank you so much for your gift of support. And to Betty Mancini, who is in Confluence. This is in memory of Betty's brother, Gerald Coleflesh, who was a Vietnam vet. So thank you so much for your family service, Betty. And thank you for calling in to make your gift of support. If it's one thing we've definitely learned from the Somerset community, you guys are true lovers of this country. You are the heart of America's county is the name that you have for your community. You have been at the center of some pretty major events that have happened in our country, and you're great people because of it, because of how you have rallied around each other in times of trouble and how you celebrate each other here today, tonight. We are celebrating you at 1-800-245-9779. Now is the time to make your call. Kevin?
Absolutely, and I mentioned that we are officially adopting Somerset as Central Pennsylvania tonight as being the heart of America's county. So one of the folks, we got a tweet that says, please tell Kevin, Jill says, thank you for the honorary Central PA membership note. Glad you noticed our huge coverage area, and that's what we want to thank folks tonight for supporting their local public television station, WPSU. We are a large coverage area that we're very proud to cover so many of these central Pennsylvania counties and southwestern PA counties, and we're very proud of that. And that's what your gift tonight allows us to do, is to go out into each one of these communities and tell stories that otherwise would not be told, that otherwise might be lost. That gift that you give tonight allows those stories to be possible, and stories, again, that would not be told, would not necessarily, no other television station in the area is going to spend an entire 2 to 3 hours of evening programming telling the great stories of a community, the culture, the history. And so that gift that you're giving tonight is going to make a difference and be able to be the seed money for the next Our Town. And we want to thank people who have stepped up and made that gift of support for their local public television station, your local public television station, WPSU. We want to thank Nathan and Mary Hutchinson of Boalsburg, PA, for calling in. Thank you, Nathan and Mary. We want to thank David Halverson, Dave and Sue Halverson of Somerset, Pennsylvania, for calling in their pledge of support. And we want to thank Richard Irwin of Somerset, who called in honor of his good friend Susan Miller. Thank you, Richard, for calling in your pledge of support for your local public television station, WPSU. I think we're right around the 95 mark, so we got about 50, 55 more calls. calls. So, folks, we want to hear from you tonight. 1-800-245-9779. As I said, your gift of support allows us to go into the next community and tell the stories of great Central Pennsylvanians like you, like all of you who live in Somerset, that we're so proud to spend time with and represent you as your local public television station. And it's viewers like you that make this possible. Greg.
Thanks to Dr. Jim and Donna Hendershot of Somerset for making their contribution tonight. Thank you very much. Also, we heard from Nevin and Pamela Miller in Somerset. Thank you very much, Nevin and Pam. Keith Costa from Mama Joe's Pizza called in a pledge. That's good. Sheila Ulrich from Somerset called in. Thank you very much, Sheila. And also, we heard from Gerald Walker from Berlin, who's also running for county commissioner. So I think we got
November 3rd.
November 3rd. Well, I think they're all running on the same date. 800-245-9779 or call in or go online to WPSU.org to make your pledge. We have a goal of 150 pledges. We were at 96. Where are we at, Susie? 97. So that would be 53 pledges. We could do it if everybody who's been meaning to call goes to the phone right now. 800-245-9779 and make your pledge. Jess?
That's right. And you know what? But that's how we do this, is we do this one call at a time, one person at a time. You know, if someone could come in here and write a check to keep the lights on the whole year, sure, we would gladly accept it. But that's not how it works. How it works is people coming together to say, I support this and this is what I can give. And we say, thank you so much, because more than the dollars, you're showing your support and that you show that this is important to you and to your community. And that's what we're looking for this evening. Won't you give us a call next at 1-800-245-9779. It's a little bit quiet in here. It's kind of about my bedtime. You don't want me falling asleep on the air. That's going to be awkward and uncomfortable for everybody. So give us a call. Keep us awake. Keep me awake here. 1-800-245-9779. And we want to be able to thank you on air. We would like to thank Karen Stitler of Somerset. Steitler, I apologize. Oh my goodness. And our beautiful dog park. That's fantastic to have a dog park so our four-legged furry friends can go out there and have a great time too. A great outdoor space. You know, that region of Pennsylvania is just beautiful in general, so it's good that we have a space that we can share with our pups as well. But whether you're a pup lover, cat lover, whatever you are, give us a call, 1-800-245-9779 to show your support for Somerset, dog parks and all. Kevin?
That's right, and this is your last chance to take advantage of those DVDs that we've been talking about throughout the night. A membership pledge at the level of $75 will get you the Our Town Somerset DVD. If you can step up your giving just a little bit to $120, that'll get you 2 DVDs, one to keep for yourself and one to share with a loved one. When I've worked the phones, I've had folks call in and kind of say, hey, I'm getting these for my grandkids because, I want them to remember these great stories about Somerset. That's what this is all about. It's about Central Pennsylvanians, Southwestern Pennsylvanians sharing their stories, preserving their stories for generations to come. And, that's one of the great things about this, and Greg's probably too humble to tell you this. He founded this, and he has been doing this throughout Central Pennsylvania communities for many, many years. And we have this wonderful collection now of our town stories that won't be found anywhere else, don't exist anywhere else, and they simply wouldn't be around anymore. And your gift, your pledge tonight allows us to tell more of those stories, to preserve the stories of, and my entire family's from Central PA. I've been watching WPSU since I was a kid. That all comes from your gift. So please give us a call, 1-800-245-9779. Greg.
And we got another tweet from Jill Shockey, who's been tweeting a lot tonight. She realizes she graduated in 1991 with the mayor, Scott Walker, back there. So all the class of 91, give us a call, 1-800-245-9779. Thank you to Ted and Joanne Deskevich of Somerset. There he is. His honor. And we got an anonymous pledge from Berlin, Pennsylvania. Somebody pledged $75 and got a DVD of Our Town Somerset. That's right, $75. We can send you a thank you gift. DVD of the show you watched tonight, Our Town Somerset. $120. We can send you 2 DVDs. You keep one, you send one away. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover. Call right now with your pledge. We're wrapping up here. We hope you enjoyed the show. A big round of applause, I think, is due to the people who came up from Somerset tonight and answer the phones. We thank them very much. Still time for you to make your pledge at 800-245-9779. Jessica?
That's right. And if you call in now, we are going to work really hard to make sure that we acknowledge everybody on air tonight. So the easiest way to do that is to call right now so that we have time to thank you. Just like Dan and Paulette Jenkins of Somerset, thank you so much for your support. And if you are friends with Dan and Paulette, give us a call as well. If you have a neighbor that you saw and recognized in tonight's program, give us a call. If you are from Somerset or you have moved away, you have watched this program tonight, give us a call. 1-800-245-9779. We are still taking your calls right here, right now, but this is our last break. This is your last opportunity to show your support for your community in Somerset, PA. Won't you be the next one to give us a call before we leave at 1-800-245-9779? Kevin's got some names, right?
I do. We're on sticky notes now. Margaret Hay of Somerset, thank you for calling in your pledge of support to support great programming like Our Town Somerset that you see on your local public television station, WPSU, each and every night. We do have some special thanks that I want to pass along. We want to thank the Somerset Borough Building, who hosted the kickoff for the program. We want to thank the Somerset Historical Center, who hosted the production. We want to thank the Somerset Public Safety Building, who hosted the community meeting and screening. We thank you, Somerset, for welcoming us into our community, and we'd love to hear from you tonight to support your public television station. Great programming like Our Town Somerset. 1-800-245-9779 is the number to call. The folks of Somerset, thank you so much for coming in tonight. Jessica and Greg are joining me now as we're wrapping up this program. We will be around for just a few minutes yet if you want to continue to give us phone calls after we go. Oh, yes, another
Jessica
thank you.
Spangler, thanks in memory of Graham Lois Pucci, also the Clothesline in Somerset.
Oh, great.
So great.
Great. And thank you, Somerset, for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yes, great program.
You can also make your contribution at WPSU.org. Click on Donate at the top of the page. It's always available and easy to use. Thanks.
This is WPSU Clearfield, an outreach service of Penn State.